Okay, hello Daniel. Today I'll be representing about the current issue in real estate market on the commercial side in Metro Vancouver. So on our agenda today we have the introduction to Metro Vancouver, my pestle analysis, my opinions, and last we have a recap at the end. And there's a question period. However, you can send me an email, and I'll also send you my presentation, my PowerPoint. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So first of all, we have the introduction. Metro Vancouver Regional District is divided into 21 municipals, one electoral area, and one treaty First Nation. It has a geographical advantage of being bordered with the U.S., the Fraser Valley, the Squamish Leuven Regional District, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. So because Metro Vancouver is very large, I'll be focusing on the top three most active districts, which are downtown, Yaletown, and Vancouver Broadway. So on a pestle analysis, political. This map right here is representing the political parties that are in different ridings in Metro Vancouver. And as you can see in Vancouver, the part we're focusing on, the Liberals and the NDP are representing this area, and it reflects very well on the population. They are the one who have a saying in the development, and the government body who are the one who determine the policy in this area. So our premier is David Eby. He is proposing a 1 billion growing community funds to improve infrastructure. He also wants to put more housing into the city, in the downtown east side area for the homeless people. So when you clean up the city and improve the infrastructure, it will make a better area for business to operate. So our mayor is Ken Sim. He is trying to fast track business licensing from 8 months to a maximum of 3 weeks. He also wants to back up the police force to reduce crime. So similar with David Eby, cleaner city means better for business operation, and more businesses, there will be more demand for office space. So economic, the inflation rate is decreasing, and now it is now at 5.9%. The interest rate is still increasing from 0.25% in March of last year, and now it is at 4.5%. So it will be this is the vacancy and absorption rate. The vacancy rate is increasing, and the absorption rate is also increasing. So that's the trend in the overall area, Metro Vancouver, Broadway. So however, with an exception of Yaletown has increasing in vacancy and also decreasing in absorption rate, and this is mostly due to people moving away from Class B and C buildings, which are the predominant building class in Yaletown, because they have demand for Class A and above. So let's look at the demand. There are more people going into the workforce. As you can see that the current unemployment rate is at 4.4%, and this is similar to the pre-pandemic rate. It's actually lower, and there are 6% increase in continuing business from February 2020 to July 2022. So that's a very good sign. There's more business coming into the city, and most of this is coming from the technology, healthcare, and professional service. As you can see right here, there's a high demand for Class A and above, from the vacancy and absorption rates, of course. And when you look at the supply, there's a lagging in supply for Class A and above. especially AAA. There's no AAA buildings in Broadway or Yaletown yet. The population of Metro Vancouver is increasing rapidly. This is mostly because of immigration. A city is bringing in more and more people from East Asia, Southeast Asia, and it will cause a more diverse population, and there might be different demands when it comes to building office spaces because of group of people are becoming so diverse. Technology, BC is aiming to go green, like going to EV and leaning away from gas heating, things like that. So there will be changes in infrastructure. There's also an improvement in public transit, allowing easier access to Vancouver and downtown Vancouver overall. So as you can see right here, there's Burnaby Mountain Gondola. That's very new, and it might be coming into our city soon. So environment, BC is very good at preserving urban vegetation, and there's minor changes in 10 years. When you look at this graph right here, most of the cities have more than 40% of urban vegetation. So when it comes to legal, most of downtown and Vancouver are zoning for comprehensive development and commercial, and this is very beneficial to the developers because it is easier for them to get a permits and build office spaces. So my opinions on the market is that there's opportunity to build AAA buildings, or at least A-class building outside of downtown Vancouver, because there's a demand for that. The Pestle analysis shows that there are more and more demand around Broadway corridor and Yaletown because there's easier access with SkyTrain. A lot of business are coming in, emphasizing being eco-friendly, and there's a boost in development from political leaders. Recap, we have the introduction to Metro Vancouver, a Pestle analysis, and my opinions. So if you have any question, please send it to my email. And thank you for listening to this presentation. Have a nice spring break.